Evcol.
The genius.
Brilliance. I'll tell you what that was, at least for me. I wrote several things that people called brilliant. One in particular, a little play of decadent epigram. It was acted by amateurs before an admiring select audience. That was when I was 21. From about 16 on, I had been acutely miserable, physically miserable. I never knew when I wouldn't actually cave in. I felt like a bankrupt, living on borrowed money. Of course, it's plain enough now, the revolt of starved nerves. I cared only for my mind, grew only in that, and the rest of me withered up like a stalk in dry soil. So the flower drooped too, in decadent epigram. But nobody pointed out the truth of it all to me, and I scorned to give my body a thought. People predicted a brilliant future, for me crying inside. Then, I married. I married the girl who had taken the star part in the play. According to the logic of the situation, it was inevitable. Everybody remarked how inevitable it was. A decorative girl, you know. She wanted to be the wife of a great man. Well, we didn't get along. There was an honest streak in me somewhere which hated deception. I couldn't play the part of brilliant young poet with any success. She was at me all the while to write more of the same thing, and I didn't want to. The difference between the great man I was supposed to be and the sick child I really was began to torture. I knew I wanted to go any further if I wanted to do anything real. Then, one night, we had an artistic dinner. My wife had gotten hold of a famous English poet and through him a publisher. The publisher was her real game. I drank champagne before dinner so as to be brilliant. I was. And before I realized it, Nora had secured a promise from the publisher to bring out a book of plays. I remember she said it was practically finished, but it wasn't, only the one, and I hated that. But I sat down conscientiously to write the book that she, and apparently all the world that counted, expected me to write. Well, I couldn't write it. Not a blessed word. Something inside me refused to work. And there I was. In a month or so, she began to ask about it. Nora thought I ought to turn him out while she waited. I walked up and down the park one afternoon wondering what to tell her, and when I realized that either she would never understand or would despise me, I grew desperate. I wrote her a note full of fine phrases about incompatibility, her unapproachable ideals, the soul's need of freedom, things she would understand and wear a heroic attitude about, and fled. I came here. In a few months, I was quite forgotten. That was one of the helpful things I learned. Well, I was a wreck when I came here. I wanted only to lie down under a tree. And there it was, under that tree yonder. My salvation came. Hunger. That was my salvation. Simple, elemental, unescapable appetite. You see, I had no servant, no one at all, so I had to get up and work to prepare my food. It was very strange. Compared with this life, my life before had been like living in a locked box. Someone to do everything for me except think, and consequently, I thought too much. But here, the very fact of life was brought home to me. I spent weeks working about the house and grounds on the common necessities. By the time winter came on, the place was fit to live in, and I was enjoying life. All the brilliance had faded away. I was as simple as a blade of grass. For a year, I didn't write a word. I had the courage to wait for the real thing, nobody pestering me to be a genius. Someday, you may read that first book. People said I had rediscovered the virtue of humility. I had.
This was an Evcol Entertainment production, a part of the Masquerade series of monologues, featuring the voice talent of Andre Refig. Written by Horace Holley. Directed and produced by Simon James Collier. Soundscape Design by Archie Lyon-Maris.